The Stoics were adept at maneuvering life's storms with clarity and purpose. They realized that while we can't control everything, we can control how we react. They believed that justice and self-control were essential for a good life. But their teachings also warned us of our most dangerous pitfalls, the habits and mindsets that can derail our lives if left unchecked. Let's explore the 7 fatal flaws according to Stoic wisdom. Number 1, living without purpose. Imagine waking up each day, drifting through life like a leaf in the wind. No direction, no aim, no purpose. As the days become one and the same, you look back and see that the years have passed by. Living aimlessly is what the Stoics referred to as the worst tragedy of all. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse towards are wasting their time, even when hard at work." For the Stoics, purpose wasn't just a lofty ideal, it was the very essence of a meaningful life. But what does it mean to live without purpose? You could be the busiest person in the world, constantly on the move, perpetually checking off boxes on a never-ending to-do list, and still be living without purpose. To the Stoics, purpose is about intentionality. It is the conscious choice to align our actions with a deeper meaning, a higher calling. It's about asking ourselves, why am I doing this? What is my guiding star? What am I truly living for? Without a purpose, our minds are like ships adrift in the vast ocean of life, tossed by every wave of distraction, every storm of circumstance. We may chase fleeting pleasures, avoid discomfort at all costs, or seek the validation of others, but we remain lost and unanchored. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and a constant barrage of information, it's easy to lose sight of our purpose. We are tempted to conform to the expectations of society, to live according to the desires of others. We lose ourselves in a fog of trivial pursuits, while the deeper questions, what am I here to do, and what truly matters to me, remain unanswered. Living with purpose doesn't require extraordinary circumstances. Viktor Frankl found purpose amidst the horrors of a concentration camp, seeing it as a way to endure suffering with dignity. Maya Angelou found her purpose in writing and advocating for justice, despite facing the systemic oppression. And Marcus Aurelius, while ruling the Roman Empire, sought to live with wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, making every decision reflect his core values. So how can we, in our everyday lives, embody this Stoic ideal, that of living with purpose? First, we must define our core values. What principles do we want to guide our lives? Courage, wisdom, compassion, integrity. Let these values become the North Star, the compass by which we maneuver our decisions. Next, we must act with intention. In every action, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to or further from my purpose? Reflect on your daily habits, your work, and your relationships. Are they aligned with your values, or are they simply habits you've fallen into? And finally, embrace discomfort. The Stoics remind us that living with purpose is not always easy. It requires us to confront our fears, step outside our comfort zones, and sometimes stand alone in our convictions. But it is precisely through this struggle that we find strength, resilience, and fulfillment. Living without purpose is like drifting aimlessly in a vast ocean, while living with purpose is like sailing towards a distant shore. We may not control the winds or the waves, but we can steer our ship with intention. So ask yourself, what is the purpose that will guide your journey? What will be your North Star? Remember, as Epictetus said, First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The purpose is not a destination, but a direction. Choose it with intention, and live every day as a step towards it. Number 2, ignoring the present moment. Do you ever find yourself lost in thought, consumed by worries about the future, or regrets about the past? We all do. Yet this habit of escaping the present moment is a thief, stealing our peace, our clarity, and our ability to truly live. Today, let's delve deeper into Stoicism and why ignoring the present moment is one of the most profound mistakes we make. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all pointed to a single, undeniable truth. The present moment is what matters most to us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Limit yourself to the present." These words are not only a call to mindfulness, but a reminder that the past is gone and the future is uncertain. All we enjoy now. Yet how often do we waste this moment, this precious gift, by letting our minds wander into states of regret or worry? When we dwell on the past, we often get stuck in regret, guilt, or nostalgia. We relive old mistakes, relive past traumas, or chase memories that no longer serve us. Seneca put it best when he said, "You must lay aside the burden of the past. Until you do, the future is not yours." The past is immutable, fixed, and beyond our control. By allowing it to dominate our thinking, we relinquish control over the only thing we can truly shape, our present actions and attitudes. Conversely, when we project ourselves into the future, we often do so with anxiety or fear. We try to control the outcome, anticipate every obstacle, or plan for every eventuality. But Epictetus reminds us, do the best you can. Use it and take the rest as it happens. The future is unpredictable. Trying to control it is like trying to hold water in your hand. The harder you hold, the more it will move. What the Stoics teach us is to prepare, yes, but not to be consumed by what might happen. Focus on the present action, the present moment, and let the future unfold. So how do we attend? For the Stoics, the answer lies in awareness, discipline, and practice. Epictetus advises us to always ask, what is under my control and what is not? This simple question is a powerful anchor for the present. When we recognize what we need to manage, our thoughts, our actions, our attitudes, we become grounded in reality. Marcus Aurelius, too, offers a practical exercise. Remind yourself every day that this could be your last day. It's not morbid. It's a call to embrace life fully, to engage deeply with what's in front of us, cherish the mundane, and find beauty in the simple. Deep peace is found in the present moment. When we stop resisting reality, when we stop clinging to the past or fearing the future, we find clarity, focus, and a sense of purpose. The Stoics knew that life is transitory. They knew that to live well, we must live now. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." So the next time your mind starts drifting to regrets that can't be undone or fears that may never happen, pause, take a deep breath, and remember, this moment is yours. The past is a lesson. The future is a mystery. But the present is a gift. And in this gift, you have the power to choose peace, to choose presence, to choose life. Number 3, blaming others for your misfortunes. What do you do when anything goes wrong? When life throws you a curveball, who do you point the finger at? For many of us, the answer is simple: others. We blame our circumstances, the people around us, and even fate. But is this the Stoic way? Is it the path to inner peace, resilience, and true wisdom? Today, we're diving deep into the most destructive habit we can develop: blaming others for our misfortunes. The Stoics believed that we are masters of our minds, and that our happiness or unhappiness comes not from what happens to us, but from how we respond. Epictetus, a former slave who became a great Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." When we blame others, we're handing over the key to our inner peace. We're external, allowing circumstances, things beyond our control, to dictate our state of mind. We become prisoners of our anger, frustration, and resentment. The Stoics taught us that we should take full responsibility for our actions, thoughts, and emotions. It's about self-blame. It's about empowerment. It's easy to blame others, and it can feel like certain people or circumstances are directly responsible for our suffering, the trap. Blaming others leads us down a path of perpetual victimhood. We begin to see ourselves as helpless, at the mercy of forces beyond our control. It robs us of agency and the opportunity to grow stronger through adversity. Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Your mind has power, not external events." Realize this, and you will have power. First, we must turn inward. The Stoics teach us to focus on what is within our control: our thoughts, our emotions, our actions. Ask yourself, how can I respond with virtue? How can I use this as an opportunity to exercise courage, patience, and wisdom? In doing so, we focus on others and remove blame to improve ourselves. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, and a man cannot be perfected without trial." Facing is a lesson in disguise. A teacher urges us to develop inner strength. Here are some practical steps, inspired by Stoic wisdom, to help you stop blaming others and take control of your life. Practice self-reflection, each. At the end of the day, reflect on the moments when you were inclined to blame others. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? How could I have responded? Remind yourself that some things are within your control, your actions, your thoughts, and others are not. Focus only on what you can control and accept the rest. Develop empathy. Understand that everyone is fighting their own battle. When you find yourself blaming someone, take a moment to consider their perspective. This practice of empathy can soften the edges of anger and resentment. Find lessons in adversity. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what is this situation here to teach me? How can I grow from this? Use adversity as a tool for personal growth. Practice gratitude. Find something to be grateful for even in the face of adversity. This shifts your focus from what you've lost to what you still have. By taking responsibility for our reactions, we step into a place of power, where we are no longer victims of fate. No man is free who is not his own. Blame is a prison of our own making. To break free, we must look within, embrace responsibility, and live with the strength and wisdom of a true Stoic. For more insight into Stoic philosophy and self-mastery, subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments. What steps will you take today to stop blaming and start living with purpose? Number 4, neglecting inner peace. In a world full of noise, chaos, and endless demands, we often find ourselves running on a treadmill that never stops. The pursuit of success, recognition, and material possessions consumes us, leaving little time to consider the most important aspect of our well-being, our inner peace. Inner peace is not just the absence of conflict, but a state where the mind remains calm despite external circumstances. It is a sanctuary that we often neglect in our relentless pursuit of external goals. We live in a society that glorifies busyness and productivity, often at the expense of our mental and emotional health. But what happens when we neglect this important part of our existence? Stoicism, a philosophy that originated in ancient Greece, offers timeless wisdom about maintaining inner peace in the midst of life's turmoil. The Stoics believed that true peace came from within, from mastering our desires, emotions, and reactions to external events. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will have strength." But how often do we exercise this power? When we neglect our inner peace, we become susceptible to anxiety, stress, and feelings of emptiness. We chase fleeting pleasures and external validation, only to find ourselves further alienated from the serenity that Stoicism teaches us to cultivate. Our minds are chaotic, our emotions are unstable, and our lives are a constant struggle. The absence of inner peace manifests in every aspect of our being, affecting our relationships, our health, and our overall happiness. But the Stoics also offer us a path out of the way to regain inner peace. Through practices like mindfulness, reflection, and focusing on what we can control, we can begin to cultivate a state of calm that is independent of external circumstances. By aligning our actions with our values, embracing impermanence, and accepting that we cannot control everything, we can find the peace that has eluded us. It is not about escaping from the world, but about living in it with a mind that remains unbroken. Inner peace is not a destination, but a practice, a daily commitment to yourself. It's about remembering that while we can't control the world around us, we can always control how we respond to it. Finally, ignoring our inner peace is not only harmful to ourselves, but to the world. Because only with our calmness can we calm the chaos around us. If you find this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on how you can incorporate Stoic practices into your life. Like, share, and subscribe to explore more about Stoicism and living a life of inner peace. Number 5, pursuing external validation. Have you ever found yourself anxiously checking your phone for likes, comments, or shares? Or maybe you feel a sense of worthlessness when your achievements are not noticed by others. This is a common experience in our hyper-connected world, a world that thrives on the currency of external validation. But what if I told you that chasing after this validation is an inevitable path to disappointment? Stoics believed that the pursuit of external approval was not only futile but also destructive to our inner peace. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, taught that our primary concern should be what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react to it." But where is the external validity? According to Epictetus, it does not. When we seek external validation, we surrender our sense of self-worth to others, an unpredictable and unstable foundation. Imagine basing your happiness on your will. It's an endless cycle of approval-seeking, where our peace is constantly at stake. Stoicism encourages us to turn our focus inward, not on the opinions of others, but to find validation in our integrity and virtue. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment in his meditations. He wrote, "I have often thought how every man loves himself more than all other men, and yet values his own opinion less than that of others." Marcus understood that seeking validation from others undermines our self-esteem. He urged us to develop inner values that are independent of external factors. So how can we break free from the trap of external validity? The Stoics offer us a way. First, practice the dichotomy of control. Recognize what is within your control: your thoughts, actions, and values. Everything else, including the opinions of others, is beyond your control and should be met with indifference. Second, build self-awareness. Reflect on why you seek external validation. Remember, your worth is inherent, not something others take for granted. Finally, embrace self-discipline. Train your mind to check only yourself and the standards you set according to your standards. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes from within, from a mind that is unaffected by the approval or disapproval of others. Pursuing external validation is a path fraught with anxiety and dissatisfaction. But by embracing the teachings of Stoicism, we can find a way out. A more stable sense of self-worth that lies within our principles and values. Let the world think it can define your peace, your happiness, your worth. Number 6, fearing what you cannot control. Have you ever found yourself consumed by anxiety, worried about things beyond your control? Maybe it's the weather ruining your plans, or what others think of you, or the fear of the unknown. This fear can be overwhelming. But what if I tell you that it doesn't have to be this way? Can you find peace in the midst of uncertainty? This concept is not new. More than 2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosophers explored how we can live free from unnecessary suffering. One of their key lessons is not to fear what we cannot control. The Stoics believed that life can be divided into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. The things we can control include our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Everything else, like the opinions of others, the outcomes of events, and even our health, is beyond our control. But what happens when we focus too much on what we can't control? We become anxious, fearful, and frustrated. We let external events dictate our inner peace. The Stoics taught that this is a path to suffering. Instead, they encouraged us to shift our focus to what we can control: our mindset, our reactions, our ability to adapt. By doing so, we free ourselves from the chains of fear and anxiety. Imagine facing a difficult situation, a storm, an unexpected challenge, or even a personal setback. You might feel fear or stress at first, but the Stoic approach reminds us that these external events are not within our control. What is within our control is how we respond to them. When you embrace this mindset, you realize that fearing what you cannot control is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. It's futile. But by accepting what you cannot change and focusing on your inner strength, you can find peace, no matter what life throws at you. So the next time you find yourself worrying about the future or fearing something beyond your control, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Focus on what you can do, how you can grow, and how you can respond with wisdom and calm. Remember, true freedom comes not from controlling the world around you, but from mastering your mind. As the Stoics taught, do not fear what you cannot control. Instead, embrace what you can: your thoughts, your actions, your peace. Number 7, failing to prepare for adversity. Life is unpredictable. One moment, everything seems fine. The next, we're facing challenges we never anticipated. How do we cope with such sudden adversity? And more importantly, what happens when we fail to prepare for it? In today's world, we're often told to expect the best, to stay positive, and to avoid dwelling on the negative. But what if I told you that failing to consider the possibility of adversity can leave us more vulnerable when it inevitably strikes? Imagine walking out on a sunny day, only to be caught in a sudden downpour. You're unprepared, drenched, and uncomfortable. In a way, life is like this, too. Adversity is the unexpected rain, and if we haven't thought ahead, we're left exposed. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers timeless wisdom. The Stoics, like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, believe that preparing our minds for adversity is crucial. They practice something called premeditation malorum, or the premeditation of evils. Premeditation. Malorum is the practice of mentally rehearsing possible difficulties. It's not about being pessimistic or expecting the worst, but rather about recognizing that life is full of uncertainties. By imagining what could go wrong, we strengthen our ability to remain calm and resilient when things don't go as planned. Why is this important? Because when we fail to prepare for adversity, we're more likely to be overwhelmed by it. Our emotional reactions become intense. Our stress levels spike, and we struggle to think clearly. But if we've taken the time to consider possible challenges, we're not as surprised when they arrive. We can meet them with greater composure. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. By preparing our minds for adversity, we build an inner strength that helps us face life's storms with grace. We become more resilient, more adaptable, and ultimately, more at peace. So the next time you find yourself caught in an unexpected downpour, whether literal or metaphorical, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Prepare your mind, embrace the challenges, and you'll find that adversity doesn't have to be something to fear. Instead, it becomes an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to find inner peace. These 7 flaws serve as reminders to the Stoics, reminders to live with purpose, embrace the present, and find strength within ourselves. As we maneuver our lives, we can learn from these ancient teachings, build resilience, and find peace in whatever life throws at us. Because in the end, it's not the obstacles we face that define us, but how we choose to respond. If you find value in these insights, consider subscribing to Everyday Stoic Lessons for more wisdom to guide your journey. Remember, the path to a better life begins with the choices we make today.